All right, week 9 in Agentuity, and my goodness, it feels like it's been 90 weeks, not 9 weeks. I think code-wise, it probably is 90 weeks. We need to run one of those code estimator things again, like we did the first week. That'd be fun. So week 9, we got a couple cool demos leading up to our public launch that's coming up, and we also have two new faces. You'll notice we have Tony Pujols from Mountain View joining us and a longtime friend from Accelerator, and really excited to have him on board. And then we also have Kevin, hailing from the great state of Illinois. Do you add an S at the end of it, but Kevin? No. Yeah, maybe. And also, we've worked with him before too. He's awesome, killing it. So we're really happy to have them on board. And so with that, let's just jump right into the demos. So Kevin, I think we're going to start with you. New week, new you. You get the first demo.
Sweet. All right, let's see. Share my screen real quick. Cool. So first week, a lot of my week involved, just getting used to the code base, taking a look at a lot of code, the patterns that you've already established, but also put in a handful of fixes. So the first thing I want to show is improvements around the GitHub integration flow. So if before or in production right now, this fix is coming in soon. If you go to a project and you go to the integration settings for that project, when you don't have the GitHub integration installed at your org, the configure button still shows, and you still get to a state where you can start configuring the repo for your project, but that's incorrect because you haven't even installed the app yet. So now when you're in this state, when you haven't installed it yet, this button will link you to the integration settings for the org first, in which you can start the normal OAuth flow to install the Agentuity app. Ignore the red, this is just our test app. Of course, I have to, one moment, please.
It's the most useful and annoying feature that GitHub has.
I swear, it's like, I can't understand how often I have to do that. So now I'm connected, and this is a brand new UI where you can actually start linking a project from here, or you can still go through the normal flow of going to the project, going to the integrations tab, and adding it that way. But since we're here, I can add, I can choose a project from here and link directly. And this leads me to that project with the proper settings, or the proper URL for that configuration. So I'm going to just link it to our basic agent repo. I'm not going to enable it, but let's see. And I'm going to click link, and now we are linked. So there's a lot of changes to this UI as well. There's a lot of state management related things where before there were some bugs on it got confused once in a while on whether or not you were connected, whether or not you were disconnected, and now it just updates properly. So that's one of the major things I worked on this week. Another small thing I worked on is, I'm just gonna go to sessions, a fix for the AI enhanced filters. I don't have any sessions here, but I can just go through the problem and the solution. So once in a while, when I was messing around with this, if I do something like show sessions from today, I noticed the LLM was getting confused on what time zone you were on. So today's the 4th, and it was sometimes choosing the next day depending on the time of day. It was returning it in GMT or something. And it was really confused when I did something like show sessions from an hour ago. The time was very inconsistent, the reference time it was using, but now it is very consistent. It's 2:30 my time, so now it's properly selecting 131 for that. Trying to think what else. And then lastly, for a new org, when you're doing onboarding, let me just go to dashboard. We now have options for installing our CLI. So if you're on a Mac, you see curl and homebrew, so you can switch between that. And let me just change my user agent real quick. So now I'm spoofing a Windows machine, and if I refresh, the second option is now PowerShell, and then you can just install using that instead. I also worked on a lot of small things like UI bugs and analytics, but that's more internal for us to just understand how our users are using the web app and our APIs like and SDK and all that stuff. So not really much to show there. That is all for me. Gonna hand it over to Bobby now.
Yep, I think we have a theme going this week with bug enhancements, I guess. Yeah, the bug that I worked on, one of the bugs I worked on this week was related to dev mode, and it's when you have two dev mode sessions open. We had some like really unpredictable behavior going on. So here I have dev mode, and I have my node project running. I'm gonna flip over here. So the node project's open over here. It says, tell me about cats. Here's my other one. In Python that says, tell me about frogs. So I'm going to do, I've aliased the Agentuity command to AG here. So I'm going to do AG run dev and pop over, and we'll see our Python demo is now here. And we can see that the sessions load in. Oh man, this is disconnected. This is still in dev. I'm still working through this one. But okay, so say you're on the Python dev mode, right? And we cancel our node process, we still stay connected because we're not connected to that repo, or we're not connected to that project right now. So there's a lot of little intricacies here. I'm still working through them, but if you're experiencing some unpredictable behavior with dev mode, it's probably this, and it will be up shortly. And then another bug that we had going on was we had some decoding issues on the KV store when you had added stuff from the SDK side. It works properly when you would do it through the UI, but that's not very useful because you want to use this in your agent. So now when you get a value in the UI, or if you get it in your agent, it's decoded properly. So working through all these, lots of polish this week. But yeah, we're excited. Hopefully be good by Miami. I'm handing it off to Robin.
Yep, it's just a small thing on cost. Let me share. Cool. So in the sessions page, I just ran my agent. I should be getting back cost now. And so before you were only getting this back if you used like the Vercel SDK. And so now we've been able to peek into the general OpenAI spec. So any model provider that uses the OpenAI stuff, API shape, which almost all of them do, like Mistral, the other ones, we should be able to show you what this is costing you. That's it.
All right, I guess I'll wrap us up. Let me show some of the stuff I have been working on this past week. I am working on, this is a prototype that I'm working on, but it's going to start merging into the main CLI hopefully this weekend. I've been working on a better new project screen. The challenges with the current project screen is you can't easily go back and forth. It's kind of each screen is kind of its own screen, and there's no kind of state between them, and so it makes it hard to kind of go back and forth. And then there's a few other little just small things like around themes and color codes and things like that. So kind of been rewriting this from the ground up, hoping to merge it hopefully soon. But you can couple of things you can do now. You can go forward and backwards now. And keep your state. You can also do some cool things like we can validate kind of inline now, and do sort of that real time. And then we've got kind of a nice flow. You can sort of see the pagination below. We got some help. You can kind of go back and forth, like I said, much easier. So that's what I'm working on. I'm hoping to start integrating this probably today or tomorrow. And hoping to have this out early next week, and hopefully this will be a much better experience and a much more streamlined flow. So that's it for me. Great week this week. We are
pretty much burning the midnight oil, trying to get ready. React Mammy is in a couple of weeks, week after next, actually, into the following week, and we're pretty excited about continuing to let more and more people off the wait list. So thanks for everybody who have been giving us, showing us some of the problems and giving us feedback, and we appreciate everybody's help and everybody's enthusiasm. And we will see you next week for D-Day. So, that's cool. I like that, Bobby.
Woohoo.
All right. Week 9. Peace out. See you. Bye-bye.